Former First Lady Rosalynn Carter is honored at a service in Georgia.
A series of private and public memorials are being held for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter this week. Today, she was honored in Atlanta, Georgia. As in her life, faith, service, and duty were at the center of Rosalynn Carter's memorial. As family, friends, and dignitaries filled Glen Memorial United Methodist Church to pay their respects to Mrs. Carter, who died in her Plains, Georgia home on November 9th at the age of 96.
Today, let us affirm together the faith Rosalynn lived so beautifully. Death, though real, does not have the last word.
Her husband, Jimmy Carter, now 99, made his first public appearance in September, joined by fellow former President Clinton and President Biden. And a convening as every living First Lady gathered in Atlanta to remember one of their own. Some of Mrs. Carter's favorite hymns peppered the service. And Bible verses wove her beliefs throughout.
Serve one another humbly in love, for the entire law is fulfilled in this one command: love your neighbor as yourself.
When great souls die, the air
Tony Loudon has been the Carters' personal pastor.
We breathe briefly. Our eyes are filled with hurtful clarity, and our memory suddenly sharpens, examines the words unsaid and promises of walks never taken.
Speakers recalled a dedicated servant, First Lady, global humanitarian, and fierce advocate for mental health and social justice. Catherine Cade was a longtime aide and friend of Mrs. Carter's. She serves as vice chair of the Carter Center's Board of Trustees.
What a remarkable woman she was. Wife, mother, business manager, political strategist, diplomat, advocate, author. Yet what I remember most about her was her tireless dedication to taking care of others.
The NewsHour's Judy Woodruff covered the Carters and reflected on their decades-long friendship.
What we witnessed was a First Lady who saw her role as going well beyond the essential, warm, and welcoming host to being a close and trusted, yes, advisor. In essence, an extension of the President himself. A First Lady who understood the weight of her words, and especially her actions. Without Rosalynn Carter, I don't believe there would have been a President Carter.
And daughter Amy shared a letter her father wrote to Rosalynn 75 years ago while serving in the Navy.
While I'm away, I try to convince myself that you really are not, could not be, as sweet and beautiful as I remember. But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling. Until tomorrow. Jimmy.
The Carters' grandson and Georgia politician, Jason Carter, remembered his late grandmother.
My grandmother doesn't need a eulogy. Her life was a sermon. And it was a mighty testament to the power of faith and to the power of a deep and determined love.
Tomorrow, the Carter family will hold a private funeral at their home church in Plains. Rosalynn Carter's final resting place will be a plot within sight of the Carters' home porch.